foreign editions of A Blade of Grass. Well, actually not only foreign, but the Canadian one as well. And they've all got quite different covers. It's interesting for me to see how designers and other publishers have interpreted the book. That's the first Canadian edition, which I didn't like when it first came out. I thought it was too kind of African, almost like too much of the cliche that you see with an African picture. But I quite ended up quite liking it, because I did think it captured something of the novel in its kind of sparseness and so on. And one thing I noticed is that this little interior shape here echoes the shape of the map of Africa. I think that was entirely an accident, but I thought, well, that's pretty cool. I really like this one. The problem with putting a face on the cover is you give the reader a face, and it's better for a character to exist in the reader's imagination. But this one is Portuguese, and it really is quite beautiful, I think. Some of them are a little hokey. That's the German one, and it looks a little like a kind of TV movie or something with those two young women. It's definitely not how I saw them, but who knows? You have to trust the designers. This is the South African version, which is really kind of cool. It almost looks like a news photograph to me with this blurred figure. I like this one too. And there's a sequence in the book where a swarm of locusts descend on the farm. And this designer, I think, has had that in mind with this black thing here. That's an unusual one, really unusual. It's Polish, quite striking, with the face. And I think it's also, yeah, it's sort of like the woman almost looks imprisoned in there. So maybe they had the apartheid era in mind. That's a weird one. I don't know what to say about that. I'm not even sure what language it's in. It's like Slovak or something like that. It's really strange. It looks so old-fashioned. I mean, I kind of like it though, because it's fun to have something. You don't want everything to be slick and cool and modern. That's the American edition. Also, you know, it's interesting, like somebody wants to go, you know, for very specific with faces and an actual farm, and then you get something like this, which is just more of a mood. And then this is the final of the Canadian edition, and there's now going to be a new cover for the Perennial edition. So that's you know, out of one book, I've got like 15 copies here. It's pretty amazing for one book. I've got a whole shelf. I like this one also because it's really moody. I've been spoiled with this. So, you know, when people say, what do you write? I can point to this pile here and say, well, I wrote all of those. Unfortunately, it's all one book.